Welcome everyone. In this video, we are going to learn about the surds and properties of surds. This is the learning outcome for this subtopic. Surd is an irrational number in the form of nth root of a, where a is a rational number and n is a positive integer. This means that surds are numbers which cannot be simplified into a whole number or rational number. Surd is written in this form, where n is the index and a is the radicand. So let's pronounce correctly. This surd is pronounced as nth root of a. This is square root of a, and this is cube root of a. These are the properties of surds. The first property is nth root of a, which can be expressed as an index number a to the power of 1 over n. For example, the cube root of 2 can be expressed as 2 to the power of 1 over 3. The second property is the nth root of a to the power of n is equals to a. This is because when the nth root is written as index, we can multiply the powers, which then become power of 1. The example is cube root of 5 cube is equals to 5. The third property is the nth root of ab is equals to nth root of a multiplied by the nth root of b. That means we can split a single surd to multiplication of two surds. The example is the fifth root of 32x. This is equals to the multiplication of fifth root of 32 and fifth root of x, which then can be simplified to 2 multiplied by fifth root of x. The fourth property is the nth root of a over b, and this is equals to the nth root of a divided by the nth root of b. And this is just the same like the third property, where we can split the surds. The example is cube root of 27 over 8, and this is equals to cube root of 27 divided by cube root of 8, which then can be simplified to 3 over 2. The last property is the double surd, where the mth root of n root of a can be expressed as a single surd where we multiply the index. For example, fourth root of square root of 3 is equals to 8th root of 3. Before we go deeper about surds, we must first learn the operations on surd. The first one is the multiplication of square root of a by itself. That means square root of a multiplied by square root of a is equals to a. For example, square root of 3 multiplied by square root of 3, and this is equals to 3. The second one is the division, where square root of a divided by square root of b is equals to square root of a divided by b. For example, square root of 2 divided by square root of 3 is equals to square root of 2 over 3. The third one is the sum of surds, where a square root of b plus c square root of b can be added together as a plus c square root of b, because they are of the same term. For example, 4 square root of 5 plus 3 square root of 5, we can directly add both terms and it's equals to 7 square root of 5. The last one is square root of a plus square root of b squared. This expression has to be expanded, and you will get a plus b plus 2 multiplied by square root of ab. The example is square root of 3 plus square root of 2 squared. By using the formula, this is equals to 3 plus 2 plus 2 multiplied by square root of 6, where 6 is actually the multiplication of 2 and 3. After that, simplify it. So now we will do the exercise. For this question, we want to simplify these two surds without using calculator. Question 1a is square root of 45. In order to simplify this, you have to write 45 as multiplication of two numbers, where one of the numbers must be a squaring number. In this case, we can write 45 as multiplication of 9 and 5. Then split it into two surds. And by simplifying square root of 9, we will get the answer 3 square root of 5. Question 1b is simplifying square root of 63 divided by 3. We write 63 as multiplication of 9 and 7. Then split it into 2 surds and simplify square root of 9 to 3. Now we can cancel out 3 and get the answer square root of 7. In this question, we want to simplify 5 square root of 3 minus square root of 27. There are 2 surds here, which are square root of 3 and square root of 27. Square root of 3 is already in its simplest form, so we only have to simplify square root of 27, where we can write 27 as multiplication of 9 and 3. Then split it into 2 surds and simplify square root of 9 to 3. Now, both terms are in terms of square root of 3. So we can subtract it and get the answer 2 square root of 3. Question 2 is multiplying surds without using calculator. That means we have to show the method to multiply it. Question 2a is 3 square root of 6 multiplied by 5 square root of 7. For this question, we simply multiply the numbers outside the square root together, and same goes to the numbers inside the square root. So, the answer is 15 square root of 42. Since we can no longer simplify square root of 42, so this is the simplest answer. For question 2b, we had to expand this expression, where we multiply square root of 3 to every term in the bracket. When we multiply square root of 3 with 4 square root of 7, we get 4 square root of 21. And when we multiply square root of 3 with negative square root of 3, we get negative 3. This expression cannot be simplified further, so this is the final answer. For this question, we must expand it one by one. 2 square root of 3 multiplied by 6 square root of 3 is equals to 12 square root of 9. 2 square root of 3 multiplied by 2 square root of 2 is equals to 4 square root of 6. 4 square root of 2 multiplied by 6 square root of 3 is equals to 24 square root of 6. And 4 square root of 2 multiplied by 2 square root of 2 is equals to 8 square root of 4. Then by simplifying square root of 9, we get 3. And square root of 4 becomes 2. In this expression, we group the whole numbers together, and same goes with the surds. Then we get the answer. Please submit this exercise to your lecturer before class ended. Thank you.